I want to thank MITRE. I want to thank Bobby Innovation Nights for having us out today. It's such a pleasure being here. So my name is Fernando, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of SUNU. And let me start out with a little story. See, when I was growing up, my teachers at schools told me I should not be playing in the playground with the rest of the kids. I should not be playing sports. Forget about playing basketball and baseball. Why? Because I have low vision. You see, it may not be apparent to most of you, but I have a visual condition because of albinism. My eyesight's 2200. That puts me as legally blind. So even though I have terrible eyesight, as a kid, I really didn't sit still very well, and I played ball and I tried doing sports, even though I couldn't see the things, and but I had a lot of fun doing it. But like me, there are 280 million people around the world who have a visual impairment. And freedom of mobility for them is the biggest barrier to having an independent life. It's a barrier to being included socially and within their communities, and even a barrier to getting out of the house and being productive, finding a job, for instance. So at SUNU, we believe that technology can really help transform the lives of the people who need to have freedom of mobility. It's a timeless problem. We believe that technologies that use sensors and combine wearable devices now, which is now a big trend, can enhance and augment human perception and change the way how we interact with our environments. So we developed a very simple product. I'm holding it in my hand, and most of you have seen it, and if not, you come by my booth. It's a wristband, and it uses sonar or echolocation to detect the proximity of objects that are within the user's path. And it simply vibrates on my wrist using haptic vibrations. It tells me how close I'm approaching something. It's augmenting my senses, and it's allowing me to see through sound. So that way, I don't bump into signposts, I don't hit the mailbox when I'm walking home, or run into all the other things that I run into. Why is this such a big problem? Well, for the visually impaired, only 2% of the visually impaired around the world use a mobility aid. Most aids are embarrassing to use, they're clunky, they have poor user experience, and they actually take many months to learn how to use. Our device has been made to be, first of all, very discreet. You walk with it, you scan the room, and you find objects, and you basically navigate your spaces in a very simple, discreet way. Some people call it, and they say, look at it, they say, it looks like a Fitbit for the visually impaired. It's also very intuitive. People learn how to use it with only a few minutes of instruction and run with it, literally. We started a school in Guadalajara for the blind, and when we noticed that kids were actually running around in the playground and starting to play tag and solving mazes. Since we were at Mass Challenge last year, 2014, we've been validating the product with industry leaders like Perkins, the National Federation for the Blind, and other lighthouses for the visually impaired. And we're coming to market this year in November. We started our public beta with these wristbands, 30 units, with where influencers or people like Stevie Wonder are going to be receiving their own wristband and talking about it, raising awareness. The product will retail for $349. It also comes with a beacon so that people can locate their missing articles, their keys, their briefcases, their suitcases when they're traveling. We couldn't do this with the team that I have at SUNU. The two inventors, Marco and Quatley, have a background in engineering and electronics. I have a background in physics and sensor designs for over 13 years. And Fabi has a background in logistics and also in operations. This is the core team, but we also work with advisors from various fields of manufacturing who are helping us basically bring this product to market. Thank you. My name is Fernando, and at SUNU, we're helping people move freely.
Two questions. Revo is next. You want to take a couple questions?
Yes, I'll take questions. Just scream up, and I can't see very well. So.
Dennis?
Anyone?
How sensitive is it to the size of an object that you might be approaching? Clothesline or a wire or something like that. You know, if I'm talking to a telephone pole or a lamp sign, but how sensitive to a very thin object that might be?
That's great. Great question. We have two modes of use. The first mode uses a 20-degree angle in terms of our ultrasound that's putting out, and it can actually sense dangling wires and tree branches. So it's very sensitive in that first mode. Yet we also afford the user the ability to change modes to a less sensitive mode with shorter range, less sensitivity to work around crowded spaces like this room, or say, for instance, the MBTA. Anyone else? Oh, yep.
Another one?
The actual device is going to be sealed. This one's actually sealed, so it's water resistant. And if the sensor gets wet, we've tested it in snow and rain. If the sensor gets wet, it stops working. But then once it's dried, it works again.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.